We've all heard stories, immigrants working 18 to 20 hours a day, sacrificing their health, social life, and dreams just to be able to send money home. For many, it feels like the only way to support loved ones in Africa. But at what cost?
Really, at what cost? But even those who manage some balance often find themselves stuck on broke, living paycheck to paycheck. It's a cycle that traps dreams instead of fulfilling those dreams.
So one of us, a Nigerian, she's a nurse. She works as a nurse in one of the care homes. She finished night shift a few days ago. You know night shift now, and she was driving home. I'll show you. And then she slept off from the steering and had a very fatal accident. Guess what? She died. And when I heard the story, I was really, really pissed. I was very, very angry. Well, look at her. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Guys, listen. They know they pursue this UK money with strength. You are just there. You are just interested in packing shift. You will go and do night duty, 12 hours. You will wake up tomorrow morning and continue another day shift. Now your body will tell you later. Do you know, last 2 weeks, one guy from Manchester, he came to work and collapsed. He's from, I think, Akure or something, in the western part of Nigeria, and collapsed. They rushed him to the hospital. He died. They found out that the stress level in his body is too much. This guy doesn't rest. I know we have bills to pay. I know we have a lot of things to solve. People that are students, they want to pay for their school fees. You want to send money to Nigeria. You want to do this. You want to do that.
You don't have to sacrifice your life or health to help others. Welcome to Cash Talk for Immigrants. My name is Christine, and my beloved is
Wachuku, Vidal Wachuku.
Today, we will address the pressure of sending money home and 7 smarter, sustainable strategies to do it without going broke or sacrificing your health, your future, or worst of all, your life. Whether you're struggling with family pressure or just looking for better ideas, this video is for you.
These tips we are sharing with you today come from personal experience and from our guest on our My Financial Missteps series. We have walked this path. We have made our mistakes. And we have learned better ways to support loved ones while retaining control of our finances here. So have the guests that you will be hearing from today.
The first strategy often overlooked is our mindsets. Yes, changing our mindsets, both here and back home. What is this mindset? Here are 2 of our guests from our My Financial Missteps series.
In Africa, everybody thinks once you're in America, there's a money tree behind your window. But what I always say to is this: if there is a tree and you always pluck the leaf off of it and you don't water it and allow it to grow, it dies.
They feel that once you come here, you are an ATM machine. That's what they believe. You dispense fund, but you have to be sensible in the way you dispense the fund.
As immigrants, it's natural to want to help. I mean, that's in us as Africans. Generally, we are our brother's keeper. However, we must stop feeding the myth of the elusive American dream. Let's be honest about our struggles here. Fellow immigrants, explain the realities on ground, the realities of rent, mortgage, bills, taxes. Explain the fact that this is not like home, that people can owe and get away with it. Here, it doesn't happen. Break down the cost. Many relatives are truly shocked when they learn the truth about how it is. My wife told me about somebody who she told a friend of hers what we pay in rent, and the person screamed, that is millions, but that is the truth.
Exactly. So share the accurate picture. Life here involves constant work to stay afloat, not the glamorous image they see on TV. Most immigrants, including you, hardly have a social life. They are always going to work, no time to stop to visit or, see anybody else. Tell them
What did we
that.
used to call them in school? Triangular students.
Yes.
Almost triangular life.
So honesty is the first step in shifting mindsets, particularly for the people back home.
And this shift in mindset is not just for them, it also applies to us, the immigrants. We need to change our perspective.
You will feel, oh, all of them kind of sent me to school, I have to help them. Sometimes you feel like taking your salary and sending home, and you have your own kids and wife here. If you don't pay attention, you end up helping those people at home who will never agree you help them and hurting your kids and your family here. So the first thing is you have to put your family on the right trajectory. Make sure your children are going to the right school. That's the first, because you owe them the obligation. You brought them overseas. They don't know Jack. You have to care for them.
Having the right mindset makes it easier to use the second strategy, ensuring you are in a good place before helping others. Let's hear from another one of our guests, Gustav, on our My Financial Missteps series.
You come to America as a new immigrant, the first thing you need to do is to get yourself to a place where you can take care of yourself comfortably. When you can do that, then you can help others. Because if you don't do that within the first 5 to 10 years, you'll be like one of the thousands of bitter immigrants. I spend my time supporting people in Africa. Now I don't have nothing. They have diseases. And you're getting angry. Because at the end of the day, right, you are not valuable to anybody if you are not alive and strong to take care. Understand that there is a time coming really soon that you will not be able to have the same physical energy like you have. That you'll not be able to have the same mental energy that you have. You'll not be able to have the same drive and work that you have. And sometimes you might even be fired for your age, because the younger people are coming with more intelligence and greater skill and flexibility. So what that means is that you want to prioritize yourself and your family first. It's important, because when you do that, it gives you a certain amount of peace now to be able to start looking at other people.
Now, it's like the airplane oxygen mask rule. What do you hear the flight attendants say? Put yours on first before helping anyone else. Even if that person is your child, you obviously cannot safely help anyone else when you haven't secured your own life first. The same thing with finances. As Gustav said, settle yourself before you can settle anybody else.
Yes. And part of securing your own life first is giving every dollar a purpose. So the third strategy is Femi's explanation on why keeping too much cash on hand can be detrimental. Watch.
What happens is, if you have excess liquidity, you will likely have bad debt. When money is flowing around in your account, somebody calls you. Because you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, your conscience says, oh, this person is dying, you quickly dip your hand. Before you know, you finish the savings. So one of the ways is make sure you don't leave your money in liquid asset all the time. For instance, I get money now, I'll buy some shares, no matter how small. It's not easy for me to go and sell my share because somebody has a headache somewhere. So that is how to kind of keep something for yourself. And also, you have to have some standing commitments here that you can't run away from. You have to pay your rent. You open an account, maybe a savings account or kids account for your kids. Money has to go there first. So when you have those key and recurring expenditure, that is a way of saving your money before you even think of giving anybody any money somewhere. You bought a car, you have to pay for the car. But people here, they don't have a car and they'll be sending money home. Buy a car, you have to pay the fee note every month, pay and commit all your funds sensibly here so that the only thing you touch will be part of your savings. But most times, every money we make, so long we've paid the basic expenses, we are thinking of how to disburse that. That will hurt you. Because let me tell you, when you come into the country, you think, I'm going to spend 2 years or 3 years. You will spend 10, 15 years, you will not have savings at all. And you start getting closer to retirement and you become jittery. So that's why you need to start from day one and cultivate that habit.
Idle money is like boiled water in an open jar. What does it do? It evaporates. As Femi said, assign jobs to every dollar. It could be to your savings, it could be to your investments, your emergency fund, your life insurance, or anything else. When your money has a purpose, you are less likely going to give it out due to guilt, out of guilt, feeling guilty. Why? Because it is simply not sitting there waiting to be allocated. It is budgeted.
Exactly. But even with a budget, the requests will keep coming. Those phone calls will keep coming for help. Help me, help me. That's where boundaries, the fourth strategy, comes in. Let's hear from Philip Apuchi.
I've learned how to say no when I help when I can. And sometimes situation demands that you should help. So we do well to help them as much as we can, but I would say we shouldn't do it to the detriment of our families here. Because this is where we live and we have to protect the ones that we are bringing into the world. It's a lot of pressure, but if you don't know how to say no sometimes, then because they will never be satisfied. And they don't care if you eat or not. All they care about when somebody is asking you something, all they care about is you giving it to them. They don't care how you get it. They care about you giving it to them. And if you don't do it, then you are the wicked person. But sometimes you allow people to say things that they think about you and you don't have to worry about it.
So why is it so important? Why is it so important to set these boundaries? Listen to Philip again as he explains.
If you don't set boundaries, you can give $10 million to somebody, they'll squander it because they know when they come back and ask you have it, you will give to them. So yeah, you set the boundaries tight and you live according to your values. That's the most important thing.
Here is a special message for you. YouTube tells us that over 80% of our viewers are not subscribers. If you have enjoyed this video so far and found value yet are not subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Your support helps our videos reach more people and allows our channel to grow. Thank you for being part of our community.
Thank you. Do you realize that today actually marks the 13th year we began our journey to America?
Oh, wow.
This time, 13 years ago, folks, we were en route flying from Abuja to Amsterdam as we began our immigration. So congratulations and happy immigration anniversary day. Okay, back to it. Now you may wonder, how do you know when to say N-O, no? Yes, you heard me correctly. I know it's not always that easy, especially when the requests come from people that you care deeply about. However, listen also to some more practical advice from Mr. Apoche.
First and foremost, if I have it. If I don't have it, it's a definite no. You can say whatever you want. Somebody could be dying. I don't have it. Yeah, that's a definite no. But if you can support, you have to look at who is a repeat offender. And I just use the word repeat offender because people never get satisfied. They will always come back and ask you for something. You also look into, is this person legit? Are they telling you the truth? One thing that gets me mostly is help if somebody is sick. But like I said, first and foremost, I have to be able to take care of my family first. So
setting boundaries doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about your loved ones to help reasonably. When you protect your finances, you're protecting your ability to keep helping over the long term. Remember, even if you're an ATM machine, you still need to dispense sensibly.
And saying no when it isn't convenient is not necessarily selfish. It isn't. I can tell you that. On the contrary, it could actually be a strategy that allows you to give greater assistance in the future Instead of rushing to do so now and you give something that you just find around, you plan for it and you give greater assistance. In all of this, though, the truth is that for you to be of any reasonable help to anyone, you must define your limits. And you must communicate those limits clearly to your people back home. And the next thing, stick to them.
Yes, that's always the issue. Stick to it, because if you
Stick
have
to
strategies and
itiveness.
you're not sticking to it,
Mhm.
it doesn't take you anywhere.
Mhm.
Well, you may ask, what if your spouse and children are still in Africa? Supporting them adds more complexity. It becomes like difficult, right? So let's hear Mr. Ojukwu to outline the fifth strategy.
And those days, I mean, there were some buses that fly Southeast England, Peckham area, Camberwell. If you are on those buses, you will see Africans, mostly Nigerians, on their phones. Their conversation is, oh, I sent money last week and you finished this, you are calling me again. That almost practically everybody on that bus will be talking about money they sent home and somebody is mismanaging, either their spouses or their uncles, brothers, and so on. And how do they manage such circumstances that you are here, you are not even living a good life to start with. You are your income. If you don't have a business, if anything happens to you, your income will stop. So those people you are desperate to help, if you fall sick now, that is the end to you and to them, because you don't even have anybody to help you. In Africa, our social security is our community. Because in the morning, somebody will come and knock your door. You've not woken up. What are you doing? Here, nobody, it's only government, in Africa. So that's our own social security, is the community, that will help. So when you are here and you have your family back there, again, what is your objective? Do you just want to come and make money and go back home? Or are you planning to bring them here? All those things matter. If you are planning to make money and go back home, then you could be sending money home. Quickly, let me build that house. I want to come back in 5 years' time. But I can assure you, you think you go in 5 years' time, 15 years, you'll still be here. I've hardly seen anybody who promised himself will go back in 2 years or 4 years that went back. It's always longer. Sometimes they even rush back and they rush back again, to the US, because they will discover that things are not as expected. So when you have people there, your family, you must have a strategy. Are they coming over here? As you are making sure that they can sustain themselves over there, you must also ensure that in the US or wherever you are, you're also preparing for their arrival. Otherwise, when they arrive, you are just living in one room and you have 3 children and a wife. And that's when you know that, okay, in the house I'm staying, I'm sharing a flat or an apartment with somebody, you are paying maybe $600 per month. Now that your family is here, you have to pay $2,500. How do you do it? It will be a total change. So you need to know from day one, what is my strategy? If it's your family, you have to know their needs, the important ones, and you try to meet those needs specifically, and you start planning on how and when you want them to come and join you. There are so many nuances to that, which you cannot be going through, but you have to be very clear. Otherwise, you keep doing it for 5-10 years, and you'll still be there. They'll be over there, you'll be here, and they can't come here for whatever reason, and you keep sending money. You are not settled here, and they are not settled there. So you have to plan your strategy of what you really want to achieve. And again, we just feel that we're in the US, that the local currency are worthless, that you could just send money anyhow. You are still hurting yourself. You would think, oh, $100 doesn't mean anything. Okay, $100 will become 200. Before you know, you are broke. So you have to be circumspect when you are spending money at home and for here. And again, you have to protect yourself here. Some people are here, they will tell you they're immigrant, they don't even have health insurance. They don't have life insurance. They don't have any savings scheme. They don't have any stock. Everything is over there. If you fall ill here, like about 3 weeks ago, one of my cousins is an adjuster. They do this disaster adjustment. He fell down from the roof, and the first issue was that he did not. He's an adjuster. He's a licensed insurer, right? A licensed agent. He did not have health insurance. The second issue is that where he worked, if there's any disaster, you'll be blacklisted. First, they will investigate how and why you fell down, because they have procedures on how to do all those jobs. So if, for instance, you are climbing the ladder, you're supposed to tie the ladder, do all these things. They want to know what happened. And if he did that, they'll blacklist him, won't get a job. So he fell down. He could not report it to his employer, and he didn't have health insurance. So he felt he could manage. He went home. He was having pains in the night. And what happened? They rushed him to ER. and they were just asking him questions. He was in pain. He called me. I mean, I didn't know that he called me. He called one of our friends, and that guy had to deposit $15,000 on the spot before they started treating him. $15,000. And they told him it was the deposit, that others will still be coming. If you are that person and don't have anybody, what do? That's why you need to think, and your health insurance is very key. It might be very expensive. And it's too expensive in England. I mean, it's free, right? Here it's expensive, but you will not know that it's not expensive until you fall sick.
Yep.
Like one of my experiences, I quickly like to share. When I came, I was new. I didn't have any health insurance. I went to the ER. I stayed for like 2 hours, like from 10 to 12 or 11 to 1. They gave me one IV. Then they gave me one tablet, which was amlodipine or something like that. And I got a bill of 7,500. I was thinking that maybe they made the mistake. They added the dates to the 7,500. I paid, but I negotiated, telling them I didn't have a job, and I still ended up paying 3,500. So I'm just telling you what experience you could have if you feel that you must take care of people at home and you're not securing yourself here. You know, you can only help others if you have helped yourself.
Now, let's also hear him again give us the sixth strategy, which details some of the factors to take into consideration when helping folks back home as a couple like us.
I don't maintain a common bank account with my wife. Because if you maintain a common bank account with your wife, there's not, I mean, everything is denominated by money. If you take money, she will see it, and it's like, oh, you sent money last month, you sent money this month, you are sending again. And sometimes it's difficult to explain because she doesn't really understand your situation. Your background and that of your wife will be different. Your wife will be the last born of her family. Nobody is asking her for money. In fact, she's still getting money from her brother. She's not using it to giving people money. But you are the first child, you are the first son, and you have 7 siblings. Your mother is there, your father is there. But because I have a separate account, what I did when we arrived was, okay, let's open a common family account so that I will put money there, you put money there, we use the money to run the family. So if, for instance, my salary is 1,000 per month, I will put, okay, in that account, I will put maybe 500, you put 300, we have 800. So from that account, she will run everything she wants to do in the family, for the kid, for herself, everybody. Then the money in my account, she doesn't see what that money is, right? And that is, I'm now able to do whatever I needed to do for people I wanted to do for. Neither would I understand what she's using her money for. But from time to time, you want to buy a house, you have to sit down and plan towards buying the house. How are we going to get the deposit, and so on and so forth. But that could be very strategic. Otherwise, your wife might feel that you are not caring for the family you have there, and you are caring for the ones at home. You know, so that's how I kind of balance it. You make sure that your family here is well situated, then you see how you can help.
Mr. Ojukutu unloaded quite a few tips there if you're a couple that keep separate accounts. But how about if you have a joint account? Does it mean you cannot help if you're a couple that put your money together? No. Because even as a couple, you can still assist if you have a joint account. We have always maintained a joint account as a couple from day one of our marriage. And our strategy has always been to hold honest discussions about who really needs our help, regardless of which one of us they are related to.
Now, it is absolutely crucial and important for a couple to align on financial decisions. This was something we were able to do right from the get-go in our marriage. Hold those honest discussions about who really truly needs help from either side of the family. It doesn't matter, but it's the person who needs it. And when you do that, it can prevent unnecessary strain. This video has provided you 2 perspectives as a married couple with single accounts or joint accounts. You as a family and a couple should determine what works best for you. The most important thing is, having done so, please ensure to implement it.
Exactly. And our 7th strategy is a game changer. You just send money once and it's done. Yes, you heard me right. Nello explains this approach brilliantly.
I have a very reliable brother-in-law. So we send the money to them and he will give it to them as a loan, especially for those that's supposed to do business, and say, okay, draw your business plan. Somebody will get somebody to loan you the money. And with the notion that run your business well so you can pay back the loan. And if you pay back, it's not only benefiting you, you'll be able to borrow again over and over, because it's supposed to be a business you have. That business is generating income, you're paying back. And then not just for you, it will also benefit Miss B, Miss A, Mr. D, that will also dip their hands into that pocket. So that's what we did. So we stopped handing out cash as if we had three, but we started doing it in form of loan, and it's working amazing. So if you have to come up with something you want to do, and he will analyze it, and then so we get our money back. So since then, they will borrow and pay back, and we've been recycling that within the family. So if anybody wants something to start the business, which is different from students who you're making contribution towards their academic and all that. That one is different. But for most people, adults that should have something doing, but because they know they have somebody overseas, they call you, there is always fire on the mountain all the time. So find something so that if you're able to establish a business, another person establishes a business, like there are 4 of you, the burden will not be so much on one person. So, and after several years, they understood, because a lot of them partook in that bucket. So now it becomes like a family trust, where if you need money, you borrow, you put it back so that another person can borrow. But we didn't start off like that. So that's how we've been able to balance it. And we have a break. They have a good source of business income. And I noticed that businesses don't fail that much as it used to before, because if you don't contribute, I don't think you have the face to go back to ask for more. So if you say, I'm going to use it for this business, at least put something back. We know how businesses work in Nigeria, but at least you make money, you pay back. Then it will be understandable when you're not making money. If people decide to help you, they can help, knowing that if your business picks up again, you will be able to pay back into that bucket. So that's how we've been able to balance that financial life between here and back home.
Have you tried anything like this? Like what you just heard? Or do you have your own strategies? That was quite an eye-opener. But if you do have yours, share your thoughts in the comments below. We would really love to hear from you.
Yes. You must realize that you hold the key to whether sending money home will keep you stuck on broke or not. It all starts with the choices you make.
You are working the money, and somebody in Africa is putting you pressure to send the money to them. No, it's you who has to decide when and how much you want to send. If you don't have it, you don't have it. If you have it, you have it.
If you found these strategies helpful, you'll also love the insights shared by other immigrants in our My Financial Missteps series.
It's packed with stories and strategies for tackling immigrants' challenges, just like this.
Click this playlist right here, and we'll see you there.